increasingly clear that no matter what party is in power, so long as our national security needs keep rising, an economy hampered by restrictive tax rates will never produce enough jobs or enough profits. Now let me make it clear that I believe there can only be one defense policy for the United States, and that is summed up in the word first. I do not mean first, but I do not mean first when. I do not mean first if. I mean first, period. I have seen in many places housing which has been developed under government influences, but I have never seen any projects in which governments have played their part, which have fountains and statues and grass and trees, which are as important to the concept of the home as the roof itself. In serving his vision of the truth, the artist best serves his nation. Our goal is not the victory of might, but the vindication of right, not peace at the expense of freedom, but both peace and freedom, here in this hemisphere, and we hope, around the world. God willing, that goal will be achieved. This country cannot afford to be materially rich and spiritually poor. And if we cannot end now our differences, at least we can help make the world safe for diversity. For, in the final analysis, our most basic common link is that we all inhabit this small planet. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's future. And we are all mortal. We celebrate the past to awaken the future. A nation reveals itself not only by the men it produces, but also by the men it honors, the men it remembers. A man may die, nations may rise and fall, but an idea lives on. The life of the arts, far from being an interruption, a distraction, in the life of a nation, is very close to the center of a nation's purpose, and is a test of the quality of a nation's civilization. I can imagine a no more rewarding career, and any man who may be asked in this century what he did to make his life worthwhile, I think can respond with a good deal of pride and satisfaction. I served in the United States Navy. What really counts is not the immediate act of courage or of valor, but those who bear the struggle day in and day out, not the sunshine patriots, but those who are willing to stand for a long period of time. I have a nice home, the office is close by, and the pay is good. For I can assure you that we love our country, not for what it was, though it has always been great, not for what it is, though of this we are deeply proud, but for what it someday can, and through the efforts of us all, someday will be. But however close we sometimes seem to that dark and final abyss, let no man of peace and freedom despair, for he does not stand alone. Never before has man had such capacity to control his own environment, to end thirst and hunger, to conquer poverty and disease, to banish illiteracy and massive human misery. We have the power to make this the best generation of mankind in the history of the world, or make it the last. We must use time as a tool, not as a couch. We must think and act not only for the moment but for our time. Dante once said that the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who in periods of moral crisis maintain their neutrality. It is an interesting biological fact that all of us have, in our veins, the exact same percentage of salt in our blood that exists in the ocean, and therefore we have salt in our blood, in our sweat, in our tears. We are tied to the ocean, and when we go back to the sea, whether it is to sail or to watch it, we are going back from whence we came. When at some future date, the High Court of History sits in judgment on each of us, our success or failure will be measured by the answers to 4 questions. First, were we truly men of courage? Secondly, were we truly men of judgment? Third, were we truly men of integrity? Finally, were we truly men of dedication? No country can possibly move ahead, no free society can possibly be sustained, unless it has an educated citizenry whose qualities of mind and heart permit it to take part in the complicated and increasingly sophisticated decisions that pour not only upon the President and upon the Congress, but upon all the citizens who exercise the ultimate power. This is a great country and requires a good deal of all of us, so I can imagine nothing more important than for all of you to continue to work in public affairs and be interested in them, not only to bring up a family, but also give part of your time to your community, your state, and your country.